Hi everyone. Um, Today is going to be a pretty short stream. I am very sorry about the audio quality, but you cannot sculpt Michelangelo from actual doodle files, so we are stuck with what we've got, and all we've got is like an AliExpress microphone. So, excuse me. And by the way, sorry for the very long starting soon. I yeah, that's better. Oh, oh. Why doesn't it want to work? I always struggle with the fucking OBS browser source and the PNG tuber little thing is gonna be struggling because I temporarily don't have a way to hook up like my mic to other stuff, so it's gonna be wigging out a little bit. Is that better? Huh? Yeah, slightly better. Okay. Two. Let me see if I can. Hold on. You go hide for now. And let me. Oh, it's because it didn't save the URL. Okay. Okay. Now we should be kind of good. Everything still looks work in progress, and I'm not done with anything right now, so even the layout is pretty bad. But what I wanted to start with today was kind of just, I should open Krita for this actually, because there's one little neat thing that I found. Well, not exactly found, but it's more like I discovered it again, because I used to use it without fully understanding what I'm doing. And so, sorry, I'm focusing on opening Greta because she's really slow today. No, tiny canvas, please. Tiny. Yeah. RGB. Sure, whatever. Okay. Okay, let me switch to a different view. for this. Sorry, it's really been a while since I've streamed, so I'm a little bit slow. Eita. Okay, I have to crop. Why? Huh? Okay, maybe it will fix itself in a second. I have no idea. Okay, let's see if this is going to be good. No, it doesn't. What? Hello? I've already changed. I've already created a new document. What are you doing? What do you mean? Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah. We're home. We good. Let me just fix. Oh, Jesus. Let me fix the crop a little bit. I'll show everything on the center of the screen anyway, so don't worry about that. Is there anything important there? No, it's just layers. Okay. Okay. So, 1 second. There's no chat? Wait. What do you mean? It's my first time streaming on YouTube, so it's gonna be bad. Yeah, no, I do have chat. Chat is on. Okay, I'm gonna try to focus so I can get through this and get to drawing. Okay, so when you have colors, when you pick colors in any software, you usually are used to the like default round, triangle, or square, right? But there's a little thing that you can set up for yourself, even if I think no other software has this. So basically you have this, right? Come here. This thing. This is the color selector. Yeah. And so you usually just pick any color however you want based on what you feel is best. And that is kind of that. But you are able to kind of, in Krita, or Krita, as I say it, you have this fancy little thing, and it's called a gamut mask. And what this does is, wait, why doesn't it show up right now? Is that the wrong fucking color selector? Oh god, I forgot which one it was. I have so many docs open. Was it this one? Yeah, this one. Okay. So you have this color selector, and when you pick the model, and Krita is the third one, and it is a special little thing that I began to use recently a lot. Hi, LV. Hello. But yeah, this is a little thing that I've rediscovered in Krita. And what this does is basically you can control how bright and dark colors are, but also how saturated they get. And so when you pick a specific mask, it locks your colors just to this specific hue range and lightness darkness range, right? So let's say I pick somewhere in the middle, and then pick, let's say, this mask, right? What it helps with is you can kind of manipulate this a little bit, but I usually stay in the same third. So basically either this side, this middle part, or this very bright part. I rarely go outside of these. But that is just my personal preference. Let me find my, where's my fucking pen? I just had it in my hands. Okay, I got it. So, oh Jesus. So, let's say I will start with a darker hue. I'll pick one of my brushes that I like, whatever it may be. It's gonna take a while to load because OBS is taking up a lot of my memory. Yeah, not responding as expected. Yeah, I'm fucking dying, bro. I've accidentally left my window open during the night, and it's like 0 degrees outside these days, so I got a little bit sick. But that's fine, that's fine. Okay, let's move the monitor closer to me so I can do shit somewhat. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. What do you... No audio? No, there is. There is audio, I think. Huh? Huh? Oh, okay. Okay. I keep freaking out about audio stuff because, like I said, it's really bad with the current setup. It's very bad. I have like 4 chords just to make this mic work. It's an experience. But back to the thing at hand. Let's just start with anything on the canvas. And thus, I have my dark value picked automatically, and it's this side of the color wheel, and it's what all my dark colors are going to be on this little sketch. Then we move to what the light actually looks like. So this is going to be the base color. Right? And the movements, the light changes are going to have like a little bit more saturation. Yeah. Then I can add some more middle point details, right? whatever they may be. Then I'll move a little bit over to here, and the first shade. And then the second. You can of course add more stuff on the go. And what you end up with is kind of this unified color look without really even trying too hard. So what you can do very easily is kind of just copy this kind of wheel and paste it into anything you like. What I do in Procreate is I have this wheel at 100% saturation, 25, 50, 75, 100. Because if I had any more, then Procreate will wig the fuck out. Because too many layers, right? And so I kind of will just erase the parts, like the other parts of the wheel that I cannot use, right? And you can kind of just rotate this kind of mask anywhere else. So for example, I could, instead of, you know, this type of honey yellow and blue, I can go for example, green and purple, pink areas. And it goes on and on and on. And the theory, how you should use it with, like, what the idea behind this was. Let me find the proper article for this. Yeah, there is also an online tool. I'll post it in chat right now. Favorite color combos. That is a hard question because it heavily depends on what I'm going for. For example, one of my favorite color combos are not really specific colors, but very vivid tones with dulled down tones. So for example, I would go for very intense purples and pinks, and maybe blues, and then kind of toned down greens, olives, yellows. That's kind of the match that I go for when I kind of eyeball stuff. I'm trying to find the thing I original. I didn't bookmark it, which was my mistake. No, it's not. Fucking medium. Huh? this? God damn. Where is it? It was like a very nicely made. I think I got it. Well, okay, so generally this kind of idea was created by James Gurney. You might know the guy from Color and Light if you read art books or Dinotopia, but he's also had a lot of other books. He has a ton of videos, a lot of prints. He created like various guidebooks on oil paintings, master sketchbooks. There's a bunch of stuff that he made, right? And so that is kind of the general idea behind it. But it's a very, very simplified way to create a harmonious color palette. You kind of are forced into a very, very narrow choice of color. Like this one, for example, that is very narrow, that is very little to work with. And you don't even have to start with color like I do, but you can start with value instead and go like this. Hold on. Yeah. And then go in with just where are you? Bump map, no? Where am I? Okay, and then just kind of go here and do a color overlay, and it kind of just colors itself in a way. Like this is a very harmonious palette. It's very simple, but it's harmonious, and it's been done completely effortlessly by just making a grayscale image and then going over it with color, with a color layer. So it's very, very simple. And so you can kind of paint much quicker, both digitally and in real life. And yeah, it's just a very, very simple thing. And there's also a PDF on my painting club where it goes a little bit more into kind of the masks that they have used, which are, some of them are used in Krita, as you've seen. But yeah, that's the main idea behind this thing. I usually am just eyeballing it at this point because I've done it many times over the last few months, and I've been kind of training myself, and it really does help in just generally simplifying your workflow in general. So that's that. That's the number one thing that I wanted to show. And I kind of just want to do a proper video about just color in general, but like even gamut masks. This is just a tiny, tiny part because you can use a gamut mask on on very different color wheels, where the color placement will be different. So you will get much different results, because there's... Sorry, I have to drink some tea. My throat is sore, so I'm gonna sound so bad. But yeah, there is the RGB color wheel, which is what you are most likely used to, where like red is the inversion of cyan, etc., etc. But there's also the red, yellow, blue color wheel, which is much less common, but Krita does have it and my paint does have it. So it is possible to try those two out and see if you can just kind of get the hang of it, by just eyeballing it, or you can just copy these wheels and use them as a template in whatever you want. Like I said, I usually just paste the color wheel onto my Procreate canvas, cut out the parts that I don't want to use, and go the fuck off. If I want to kind of cheat my way into making a very simplified palette. So yeah, that's the first part. And now for the second part. This is a bit more troubling in a way, because I really wanted to do some studies, but I realized I do not have my Pinterest board downloaded on this PC, which I must have done it on my Linux drive. So I would have to restart everything. And I am much too lazy for that at the moment. And I do not have a proper PureRef board for anything else, because everything I've got is mainly nude figure drawings, and I do not think I'm gonna be able to show that on YouTube, which sucks, because it's just titties, you know. But I do not want to get banned on my first stream. Yeah, it would not like that. I do have some pictures, I think, that are dressed, but let me go once more through the boards, because I've been moving my files a lot recently, because I keep running out of drive space, mainly because there's a lot of archives from like 2013, etc., that I have not touched in years, and I will have to manually check for duplicates and all that fun stuff. And I just kind of don't have the energy for that for now. I've been mostly focusing on other things going on. Yeah, I'm gonna most likely do that. The thing is, I kind of just put everything in PureRef boards, because those ended up being tinier than just the photos themselves, because like some photos can get really big, the ones that you buy from like graphic studio, for example, or like Howard Lyon, which is one of the guys that whose photos I do have. So I kind of just put everything into boards that I had and fucked off. Which I did not expect to fuck me over in such a way later on, but it is what it is. Yeah, what I got is mostly acts, and yeah, as we know, no acts allowed on fucking YouTube. Oh, no, wait, I've got something. I do have something. Hold on. Yeah, I got some good gesture drawings. Okay. I'll let it load for a second. Dear YouTube, the woman in these photos is clothed. So please, I beg you, don't fuck this stream up. I mean, I'm not monetized anyway, but you know. Okay, let me open a new canvas. And let's go. As far as I remember, I am allowed to show a few of these publicly, especially since these are not like full res. So I think we're gonna be good, and there's no like licensing issues on that part. Let me just select a few that I like. Some more complicated ones, because I haven't done gesture drawings in a good while. Okay. Yeehaw. And let me add the source for PureRef. Where are you? I'll just check because it is transparent on my end. Let's put a little bit of sharpen on that. Yeah, no, this is safe. She is clothed. It's fine. It's fine. I'm mostly just confused why it's not transparent. Hold on. Okay. This should be good. A little bit more. Okay. So I will put this right here so you can see it. And I will zoom in on, yeah, one of the pictures like this. And I will turn on music. So let me know if the volume is good. Because I will be playing radio and not my playlist, because my playlists are completely fucked. Yeah, fuck yeah, we are gonna listen to music. Like, I'm not gonna just sit in silence, you know? Just the display in the right corner, lower right corner, might get a little bit fucky at times. Because of how radios sometimes title their streams. Okay. Let me just add it. Yeah. Do tell me if the volume is okay the way it is right now. I don't want it to go too loudly, just in case. We are on Retro Plum Radio, which is what I usually actually listen to when I draw. This, or I listen to Yumiko, or fucking, where is it? Ambient Sleeping Pill, or Osu Station. Osu Station is a bit unhinged, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, I can't hear anything. Okay. That better? Okay. I'll keep it at -15 then. Okay, there we go. Don't be surprised that this is what my sketches look like, because all of them look like this when I begin work. I am very messy with how I do stuff. Let's move this angle.
Dr. Eccles. 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 Dr. Eccles.
Alright, my cat wants to go outside. It's my big fat ass boy. It's a big boy. Big chunk. I should take more photos of my cats, to be honest. It's what they deserve. Get back to the vlog. Basically what I initially do, to explain it in simple words, I kind of try to find the main lines of everything. And it's barely ever precise. This is not the stage to be precise. What this is, however, is just me exploring a bit before I get to actually working on the piece. For example, this arm is a little lower, but we can see that sort of this part is lined up with the knee, so I should move it here a little bit, but if I do, then the rest won't work basically. so I have to move it too. Because this leg kind of, the leg that's behind kind of starts around this place, right? So what you do is just kind of move stuff by force until it looks somewhat readable. Also, the foot is a little smaller. And this is like around this spot, like right here in the center of the circle. The butt goes a little bit farther because this goes lower. Lower, there's a bigger curve going on in the back. Bit darker color, and sketch number 2. Now I would say it's a little more angled. Okay. Found that drop. Okay, I'm checking. Holy shit. Wait. Can I do it like... will it let me? Holy shit, it's so big. Where? There we go. There we fucking go. My first fucking fana. This is how you know I have good friends. This is how you know. I'm gonna fucking print this and put it on my wall. Wait, now my woman is gone. Come back. My reference. Okay, I have it. I got it. I think it's really funny that YouTube keeps wigging the fuck out and cannot decide whether my stream is doing absolutely horribly or very, very well. Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I get it, I get it. Like I said, it's just a little shorty. I'm just probably gonna end after I do some basic fills with this. Because I have other stuff to do because it's nearly 1 p.m. and there's stuff to do around the house. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do this kind of semi-daily, but from 4 a.m. because I usually wake up at like 3 or 4 a.m. It might sound wild, but I fall asleep at like 8. So it's no wonder I wake up very early. There's the shoulder. That's kind of... kind of how this goes. This is just whatever. Nobody gives a fuck about the chair, so... especially not me. This bump is slightly higher up. Some bump. So, oh, and by the way, as you can see, I use liquify a lot. This is like, if you use this, this is not cheating or anything. This just makes you work faster, right? And faster and easier, basically. Because you can just do adjustments on the go without having to like fucking sweat and try to draw everything by hand, right? So it's not a problem if you use Liquify or any other similar tool like this. This is completely normal. This is what everyone does. Too many stolen. So fucking true though. This is the kind of shit that professors gave me like shit for when I was in art school. So I would not be surprised if someone told me that. And one of those things, as you can see, kind of what the leg does is it has like this angle, then there's a knee, which is, you know, a bone because of how the bone is shaped. There's this mechanism, the whole like knees mechanism. So we are shaped kind of like this, and then in the lower part it's kind of like this, right? And what I usually call this is kind of the S roll, because legs are basically a very vague S. There's the knee, there's the leg, ta-da, you just got a leg by drawing an S. It's a very old trick, but it works if you want to do a quickie. I can't even tell you where I heard it first, but probably on DeviantArt from like Rutkowski, since I followed him a lot when I was younger. Yeah, basically, yeah. Forearms are eggplants. We are all just a collection of very, very basic ass shapes, like squares, circles, etc. It's just the way that those shapes overlay on top of each other and how fat and muscle distributes that truly dictates how you should draw a person on your canvas. And that's it. There's nothing else to it, really. Full of octagons. What is a man but a miserable pile of octagons? I think I'm a little smaller than that. That's a lot closer together. The store goes going down here. And so what I kind of do when I have this much of a sketch already done is, even if I can see there are some things that are inconsistent, I do not pay too much attention to that, and instead just get to coloring and then kind of smoothing out the mistakes as I go from there. So for example, the stars, I want to be bright and nice. And again, I work very differently than usually people will recommend you to do in digital art, because I'm more of a traditional artist. So I prefer to do stuff in color, which is actually not the recommended way to do it in digital by most artists, especially professional artists. And to be fair, if I do have a piece commissioned, I will make stuff in grayscale first. But when I do stuff for my personal use, I just don't fucking care, and I just color in right off the bat, right? So it's just up to what you feel like is best, more than best for the occasion and the context of what you're doing, instead of just following one thing and one thing only. For example, if you're sketching for yourself, and you use a very simple pre-made, let's say, alcohol marker palette that you can find on the web, or any sort of color palette from Clip Studio or wherever else you might find color palettes. I used to find them on fucking DeviantArt. I don't know where people go to nowadays. Then that's fine. That is completely fucking fine. You kind of choose what is the best course of action for a certain occasion. And that's that. There's just no proper one correct way to do this. And on the topic of color, why do I choose specifically very, very intense color when I can fucking plainly see the color on the photo, or I could color pick, right? And the reason for that is so fucking plain. And the reason is, this is just my preference. There's nothing else. I like when stuff is colorful. So even if I see a dull photo with dull colors, I'm gonna fucking make it colorful. I don't care, right? So again, like I said, it's all up to you and your preferences and your choices. Oh, for example, when I wanna make a thing colorful, I won't show it right now, but if I want to draw something in a colorful way, and I have received a photo and I want to redraw a photo specifically, then I'm just sometimes going to put it in any software that I'm currently working in. I turn the saturation the fuck up, and I usually play with curves, right? Because with curves you can get really crazy results, as you can see, and this is just basic curves usage, right? So I usually use curves to make stuff very, very intense and much more colorful on a photo, and that's when I, redraw it. Why do you draw with a gray background? That is because number one, this is much easier on the eyes, especially when I work for a very long time. And number two, oh, and usually it's not just pure gray, but it's got a little bit of color. Right now we're on yellow because this was a preset I made for like my nightly drawings. But that's number one. And number two reason is so that when I draw with very bright colors like this, and there are, as you can see, gaps, like right here, or right here, or here, I can see where I should fix something up or fill something in, instead of just being on a white background. And also it is kind of a general painter's thing, because when you paint on canvas, for example, or on paper, you usually do not paint on plain white paper, but you first use a primer, or B, you just use your own kind of primer or paint first. So the canvas colors I used to paint on when I was back in art school. Those were usually in these kind of color ranges, like this, sometimes somewhere around this, or somewhere here. So like very those basic burnt sienna, or umber, those kind of shades, just earthly shades. So when I stick to those and in software, it kind of just makes my brain work better, kind of, because I can kind of pretend that this is a canvas, and it's much easier for me this way. So it's kind of a twofold thing. It's both because you can both see very dark colors and the mistakes in very dark colors, and you can compare them, but you also don't lose out on very bright colors. That's it. That's the only reason. It sounds really convoluted, but I promise it's not. That's how the light goes, and then there's light behind, and it's brand over here. Okay, so that's that. And now the darker parts. Dark, I would say. Oh, and here's a fun color fact that I always mention. This is pink, and usually very desaturated pink will look like shades of blue if used around very, very warm colors. Uh, so without using blue, you can kind of make a very harmonious palette with just using colors from pink to yellow, which is like a much smaller part of the hue wheel, and using very specific or smaller parts of the hue wheel kind of is part of what makes a color palette work. If that makes sense, I hope it does. I haven't spoken in English in forever, so I forgetting words. But hopefully this is why I wanna stream more, so I can kind of practice a little bit, because I got used to it at one point because I used to call a lot with others, and then kind of things fell apart. Ooh. I think we died for a moment. I have something, so that might be part of why I might cut out sometimes, or why the music cuts out. Yeah, we're dead. We're so fucking dead. Thank you. I try really hard. Well, it's not like I specifically try. It's more like my words get jumbled up a lot and very often. But I try to kind of keep my vocab at an acceptable level, so I can talk with other people, which is easier in text, admittedly. But I would like to speak more often than I do right now. Because I do not want to be kind of lose the practice that I've already got to this point. Because it has been a very, very long time since I've either streamed or talked to someone in English. So I am very out of practice, and I need to work on it a little bit more. Oh no, this is not dark. Kind of leave the head for last, because the heads I like to give the most detail to. Although in this case the head is not the focus, but the rest of the body is, so I'll have to work on it later. It's not really that I know the language better, but when I write, I kind of write to be fast. So my writing is kind of ass. But when I speak, I'm trying to be as clear and concise as possible. So I end up with a lot of uhs and ums. And it is very annoying to me personally, even if it does not bother other people. So it's more of a me thing than anything else. I think I can switch right now. Oh, are you the one? No. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah. Like I said, it's more annoying to me more than anything. And it's again, and it's because I am very, very out of practice, and I do need to practice more and gain a bit more confidence, I would say. Because what happens is, like, a thought goes through my head and I have to translate it on the go into English and pay attention to not start speaking Polish, because that does happen sometimes. And it does happen sometimes in reverse when I am speaking Polish with my family, and accidentally, because I just was thinking too fast, I slip in some random English words. It just happens. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to be more pleasant to listen to, and I definitely want to get a better mic, because this one is so fucking bad. Polka dot pants? What might you mean? This part is a bit colder. Oh, and for context, when I do use some stuff in Procreate, what I do is set the burn edges to either overlay or hard light or vivid light, because it makes stuff look a little bit better for what I do. So let's say I take a blue. With the overlay, it's very, very noticeable, but there is a slight it's greenish effect. So that's what I usually stick to. That slight glow of some additional random color that I do not really have control over. because here we do love chaos. We do love a little bit of chaos. Stabilization in my case is always at 0. I have very minimal here. See, this is less than 1%, and that is because sometimes my pen just kind of wigs out with the current glass and foil that I'm using, the productive set as a whole. So I set it very low, and it never really changes from there. Even when I ink, I do not use stabilization. I rely on my own hand, and if it fucks up, well, that's too bad. Yeah, I see people often use stabilization in a lot of software. I never really got it. I prefer things to not lag behind the brush and not be very smoothed out, but that is just my personal preference more than anything. But there's also the part that when I paint, I do not want to slowly make strokes. I want to paint quickly. It's kind of a long story, but what I always wanted when we are talking about painting is that I can sit down in front of a canvas or just anything to draw on, any piece of paper, and max 1 to maybe 3 hours, and I'm done. Maybe not, maybe I haven't like completed the piece, but I'm done. Yeah, I know, right? It's just stabilization is not for everyone. Using some stabilization is, in my opinion, good because you do your hand when you hold anything does quiver a little bit. So when your pen is very sensitive, you might not want that to be very visible, and that's totally understandable. I get it, but in my case, it just does not fit what I'm going for. So there's no point in me using that. What I always have to do if I get, for example, recently I've been on a little roll with getting and supporting some of my favorite Chinese artists, which I've been very excited about. And what I often end up having to do is to go through their like brush packs and one by one change the stabilization into zeros because they have everything set so fucking high up. It's unbearable for me. So the pack is like, oh hi, we have like 60 brushes, and I'm like, oh yay, let's go. And then I get the pack and I'm like, oh, that's 60 fucking stabilized brushes. Holy shit. So that's why most of my stuff is very customized, because I cannot fucking handle the way some artists draw digitally. I'm much less of an absolutist. I do think some things can be used in very minimal ways. Without it changing your style in a way. Because if I had to suddenly I wake up and I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna start, from today onwards, I'm gonna start drawing with stabilization on. That shit would look so fucking different. Because even if I go now, where is it? Like, let's set this to motion filtering and put it higher up. Like, this is much too smooth for me. This does not feel very, very natural. This feels off, basically. Like, oh, I'm trying to color this in, let me just like start waving my pen like a madman trying to make this work, right? It's just not for me. It's absolutely not for me. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, it's just everything in art is very, very much so up to the person that is drawing. If the person that is drawing is not enjoying a specific thing that they are doing, they are not going to have a fun time in art in general. Like, if you are not having fun, let's say, doing watercolors, and you find it very hard to even pick up watercolors by now, fucking leave them. Put that shit away. Take up something else, clear your mind, and then maybe if you discover some new techniques or you read a bit more about them, come back to it. There's no rush. Nobody is like racing you. You can just chill, read about stuff for a bit, and decide for yourself what you want to do or what you want to try. There's always time to discover new things, and there's always time to practice more. But what is most important is to just take it as fast or as slow as you feel like you're able to. And this is especially hard when you have a job, for example, because you cannot fully devote yourself to art if you have a non-art job. And that's fine, that's normal. You just operate on a slower pace than everyone else. Motherfucker, I do too. We just deal with the cards that we have been dealt. We work around them, we work with them, and that's that. Holy shit, we've been almost at it for 2 hours by now. Man, time sure does fly by. But yeah, like I mentioned, forced to work, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm going to say with what I have been, let's say, witnessing recently in some of the uni art spaces, so like universities or some other prestigious schools, there's a very specific landscape that happens once you join in those spaces. And you might find yourself losing the individuality that you once possessed. It's a very unfortunate process. It's a very systemic thing that just dulls you down, so you are not really an artist to make art, but you are an artist to make shit that sells commercially on a big scale, right? So sometimes it's better to stay on a much smaller scale rather than, go to uni and end up doing something you hate for your whole life. It's a very, very odd and peculiar situation, but I think it's one that is in every field in a way, but it often gets just ignored when it comes to art. Yeah, I mean, listen, I wanted to go back to uni for a while because I don't know how it is anywhere else. Here you can join either a free college or a paid college. What I attended was both a free college and a paid college. When I was when I dropped out I did drop out only 2 times. Man, okay. But yeah, back to the topic. Like I said, this is a very, very peculiar thing that I've noticed. You do not have to join or be taught by teachers to learn. What ends up mattering most when you do art is your own will and your own passion and constant work, and never at any point going, why am I doing this? Why would I try to go even farther than this? Constantly trying new things, constantly working on new things. All of this at once is what makes a person a proper artist, and it doesn't always tie to education, because when you are taught by professors or teachers, what can, and I have personally experienced this, what can happen is you end up with absolute brainlets that do not know what they're doing. They haven't drawn anything in years, and they just kind of exist and call themselves artists, and they think they can kind of order you around because they are older than you and they're better than you and you are younger than them or whatever, or you are lower in rank than them because they are the professor and you're the student. It's a very, very stupid dynamic, but it is something that happens much more often than people would like to admit, I feel like, because I went through it several times in college when I was doing all the archivist stuff. I was fine, and the professors were mostly really nice, but then when I think back to my school years, it's been so bad there. It's been really bad. And you are right, those who can't teach, teach. And it completely fucking blows my fucking mind, because you should go and teach others if you do want to teach others, if you enjoy working with people. Why the fuck are you trying to work with people if you hate them? What is the reason? What is the point? I don't get it. Why would you resign yourself to something you hate so fucking much to do this for the rest of your life? It's just beyond me completely. Why does it even happen? I mean, yeah, we are kind of encouraged in a weird way, I guess, to kind of stick to the jobs that are consistent in payouts, right? And I can understand that part. What I can't understand is why go to this specific thing instead of choosing any other field. There's so much shit you can do, and you chose to be a teacher. You chose this for yourself. Why? Why do you not only subject yourself to this, but everyone around you has to suffer with you? Do you like really hate others that much? I do not get it. I just don't. But on a different note, it's 1:30 p.m. So unfortunately, I have to stop the stream. Which I am not a fan of, but man, I just hope that tomorrow is going to be better when it comes to timing. Like, I wake up on time and shit, and maybe I will be able to fix up the mic a little bit more, because I do know I do sound a little bit crusty. I do have some stuff prepared, but I cannot show all of this just yet. But I do be cooking stuff. See you next time, LV. Thank you for watching. I think we've had a few more people watching. I'm not sure. I have no clue. But to whomever is watching or any VOD watchers, thank you for staying with us. I am hoping for a mic fix. I really am, but I think I have to just buy a new microphone, which I cannot just yet. But it will be done soon. That much I can promise you. I'll be cooking. But that's all for today or tonight, whatever time it may be for you right now. And goodbye.